Hi guys, Damo here from u/DNM. Today we have the first episode of Today I Fucked Up Tuesdays. Without further ado, let's get right into it. The first post is basically just an episode of Catfish. Let's read it. Today I fucked up by accidentally dating a straight guy online as a straight guy. Yes, you heard it properly. For context, this happened a couple of days ago. I've recently gone through a shit breakup and it's been about a month now. I'm still getting the breakup symptoms, life won't get better, that kind of shit, so I searched up how to recover after a breakup. After using my own flawed judgment, I determined that all of these sites were full of fucking crap and decided that the best way to recover from this breakup was to date other people and move on from her. I thought of ways to do this. After sitting on my bed for 5 minutes and staring at the ceiling, I realized that, yeah, girls that I know in real life, well, that count is about 0. I thought of places to look, maybe online dating? Now, I use Reddit a lot, so out of pure desperation, I went on the r/r4r subreddit. I initially thought that this subreddit was full of desperate guys, and not gonna lie, it kinda is. All I really had to do to see that was scroll down in that subreddit. In a way, it was kinda relieving seeing that I wasn't the only desperate guy out there. However, one post, a female around my age looking for a male to date, struck my attention. Immediately I noticed she had the same interest as me. I noticed a couple other guys DM'd her, so I decided to as well. We hit it off. She really sparked my interest as someone who I'd date. I asked if she had any other social media. She said she only had Twitter. I only had Instagram. I asked if she had Discord since she mentioned in our DMs that she gamed a little. She said yes, and we moved our conversation to Discord. Our conversation was going really well. I'd been texting her for about 2 to 3 hours. Eventually it got to the point where I wanted to see what she looked like. She mutually wanted to see what I looked like, so we decided to share pictures of ourselves at the exact same time. Well shit, you know where this is going. We both hit submit at the same time. To my shock, I saw some dude with a beard. I was so fucking confused. What? He just told me, like, what the fuck? I thought you were a girl. I told him I thought he was a girl since that's what he said in his post. He sorta realized this and then proceeded to brush it off like it was an oopsie. I wasn't that pissed or anything. I was just kinda shocked since I'd been texting him like as if he was a girl. We were both rather dumbfounded. I asked him if he wanted to stay friends since he had really similar interests. He said sure. We talked for about 5 minutes. Eventually he says this to me. Look man, I started this shit thinking you were a girl. It's really awkward knowing you're not a girl, so I don't think we should be friends. Well shit mate, you don't have to tell me twice. Can you imagine how weird that must have been for this guy? This is why I can't trust anybody on the internet. Okay, the next one isn't as bad, but it's still pretty bad. Today I fucked up by setting my PC wallpaper to porn. This happened this summer. So I was just a horny 14-year-old boy who really liked video games, you know, the usual. I discovered masturbating about a year ago. I think I don't have to say it, it was good. I watch porn every day and I got hornier and hornier. The PC had a password that only my dad knew. So one day I spied on my dad while he typed the password and I played from morning to the time when my parents got home. Then I changed my time that they enabled to about 10 hours a day. So everything started when I discovered Wallpaper Engine on Steam. It looked so dope. It started with some cool animated wallpapers like monsters and others, but then I realized it had an NSFW section. I deleted all other wallpapers, then added dozens of porn ones. Then one night when I went to the shower, my parents were home, my dad checked the computer because he really knew I liked to play secretly, and I was busted. The worst is not that they realized that I played 10 hours a day. The worst was that they saw all the porn stuff. Hentai, simple art porn, pictures of boobs, porn videos, dozens of Overwatch porn, and it changed every 30 seconds. If I think back to this moment, I still want to endgame myself from that feeling. Okay guys, definitely an F in the chat for this fallen soldier, rest in peace man. This next one is one of the funnier stories I've read in a while. Today I fucked up by having sex with a water jet and contracting chlorine poisoning. Obligatory comment, this happened 13 years ago, I was 9 at the time, my father had recently passed away, And so my mother, myself, and a family friend, recently divorced, definitely needed time away too, and her 1-year-old daughter took a vacation to Kauai. One day I was swimming laps around the pool while my mom and the family friend, let's just call her Susan, were upstairs cooking lunch. I took a break and started hanging on the side of the pool, just soaking up the sun. After sitting there for a couple of minutes, I started realizing there was a very nice sensation in my crotch area. At this point in my development, I was just starting to recognize what sex was and was starting to explore my body. I looked down into the pool and sure enough, there was a water jet down below blowing water onto my willy. At that moment, I had the brilliant idea to pack my pecker into the pool. After doing my due diligence by looking around and making sure I was alone, I decided to go to Pound Town and rail the water jet for a good 10 to 15 minutes. Eventually I was interrupted by my mother screaming from upstairs. I pulled out faster than a jackrabbit, that lunch was ready. I sat around for a minute to make sure that I was at half mast or lower and proceeded to go inside for lunch. Fast forward about 20 minutes, I had finished lunch and needed to head to the restroom to take a leak. The sensation that followed was the worst pain I've endured in almost 23 years on this earth. It felt as if lava was shooting straight out of my pee-pee. The blood-curdling stream that left my mouth caused my mom and Susan to slam through the door like a SWAT team, expecting to see me laying on the ground dead, but instead just seeing a boy screaming and holding his crotch rocket with tears streaming down his face. They asked me what was wrong, and that was the moment that I realized I have to tell my mother and a family friend how I went to Pound Town on a water jet, and how I was now scared whether or not my penis would ever work properly again. My mom proceeded to collapse in a fit of laughter while Susan was trying to take care of me, giving me orange juice plus chlorine is not a good combination, and telling me to try to shower to get the chemicals off of my body. Fast forward an hour, I'm in the emergency room after what seemed like an eternity of wriggling in pain and my mother's combination of bewilderment, disappointment, and stifled laughter. The doctor finally came in and told me that I had chlorine poisoning of the urethra, and was, according to him, the most fascinating case of chlorine poisoning he had ever seen. Luckily the treatment was easy, so there were no long-term effects, just years of embarrassment from my mother telling that story to every woman I've ever dated. Now I look back on it recognizing it as the funniest thing that ever happened to me, but I've learned to wear protection whenever I fool around with any sort of aquatic source. Oh man, I would pay money to see what that doctor's initial reaction was. Next up we have an oopsie doopsie, as Gloria Borger would say. Today I fucked up by saying the N-word at an African American child's birthday party. So I'm currently still at the birthday party where this incident took place. We're at a birthday party for one of my wife's friend's kids who just turned 2. The whole family of the child is here and they are a black family. Now I'm talking aunts, uncles, grandparents, family friends, the works. The birthday girl was playing with a balloon and my son, almost 2, took the balloon away and started yelling no, no, no. So naturally I took the balloon away from him and the family was staring at him for being a brat, naturally. So in an attempt to say no and sort of explain his behavior, I said, "Sorry everyone, he just recently learned the N-word." The room went silent. I also have never met any of these people before, so it made my mistake that much more awkward. Luckily, they all started dying laughing because they understood what I meant. Okay, so I didn't actually say the N-word, but still, it's kinda funny. And that's been it for the first episode of Today I Fucked Up Tuesday. Subscribe for more Reddit content and a like is always appreciated. Stay well and I hope to see you all in the next one.